How did you manage to cheat the system?
I still have my student ID.
It doesn't have a date on it, and the photo is really dark. To this day, I sometimes get discounts with it, and I also still have my student email, which lets me use various software for free. So, when I was 11, my family and I went to a water park. That day, I really wanted us to go to Burger King, but my dad kept saying he didn't have the money for it. At the water park, there was a system where you bought a wristband for $4 at the entrance, which allowed you to get a tube for riding various slides. At the end, you returned the wristband and got $1 back. It was noon, the place was crowded, some people were leaving, and some were just arriving, so the line to get wristbands was huge.
I sold my wristband to some guy at the end of the line for $3. He didn't have to wait, and he paid $1 less, so he was happy.
With those $3, I bought 3 wristbands from people who were waiting to return them. I gave them the same amount they would have received, but they didn't have to wait. I then sold those wristbands to people at the end of the line, again for $3 each.
I repeated this scheme many times, and it took me about half an hour in total.
Then I went back to my dad, handed him $40, and explained how I got the money.
I asked once more if we could go to Burger King, and he was like, "Hell yeah, you earned it." The Whoppers were on me that day. I once put $15 on a bank card I never use and set up a monthly Spotify subscription with it. The next month,
they obviously couldn't process my payment, but they didn't cancel my premium.
It's been 5 months now, and their system still hasn't caught on. Aha! Gotcha. I'm a Spotify agent.
This whole thread was created just to find this thief. I don't poop at home. I hold it until I get to work so I get paid for pooping.
When I was at my first office job, I decided to calculate how much I earned per minute after taxes, and then started recording how much time I spent in the bathroom. By the end of the summer, I had earned almost $200 for pooping. Dude, $200 is a shitload of money. When I was in high school, my Spanish teacher had a stack of 30 cards with our names on them. She used these cards almost every day to decide who would answer next. In the first week of school, I noticed she left them on her desk, saw my card on top, grabbed it, and threw it away. As a result, I was never called on for the entire year. My office is near a Walmart, so I go there almost every day for lunch. Every time, without exception, I find discarded receipts. Some people forget them in their carts, and others just litter. The trick is, I collect these receipts, open the Walmart Savings Catcher app, and scan their barcodes. The app compares the prices on the receipt with prices from competitor stores, and if it finds the same item cheaper elsewhere, I get the difference back. I can then spend this money on Walmart.com. Over a year, I once saved enough for a trampoline for my kids. Edited. Here's another story about Savings Catcher. A year ago, I was scrolling through Instagram posts with Walmart and saw a lady posting a picture of her receipt to brag about finally being able to buy groceries herself. I scanned the barcode from her photo and got about $2 from it. In the comments, I wrote her a "thank you." I used to work in the electronics department at Walmart, and next to us was another electronics store. The R53 had just come out, and the neighboring store had discounts on the PlayStation Eye. It was $20 cheaper than at Walmart. I bought 5 of them and returned them to our store. That month, I managed to pay my rent. Edited. We also had regular customers who liked to buy something on sale, and when the price went up, they would return it, claiming they lost the receipt. Of course, they didn't get cash back, but they got a gift card for the new price amount, so they still benefited. I needed to leave my car in a parking lot in New Orleans. After a week, the fee was $140. When I went to pay, I found out that if you lost your parking ticket, you only had to pay $50. I said I lost it, even though, of course, I hadn't lost anything. I once sat down and carefully read the graduation requirements for my university, then looked at which courses were common across different majors. It turned out that in my university, attending certain classes counted twice if they were required for degrees in different fields. As a result, in 4 years at the state university, I earned over 180 credit hours, the average is 120 to 130, and got 3 different degrees. And I paid the same amount for tuition as those who attended the minimum number of classes. My academic advisor later told me that they changed the rules at the university because of me. Brilliant. Too bad you couldn't share your experience with future students. Can I ask which majors you graduated in? Just curious how much overlap there was in the courses. Art history, chemical engineering, and veterinary medicine.
That doesn't sound like they would have much overlap. Wait a second. You're not the original poster.
Keen observation.
Wait a second. You're not the original questioner.
History, political science, and international relations. I got a Bachelor of Arts in History and International Relations, and a Bachelor of Social Sciences in Political Science. And somehow, these majors were taught in different colleges within our university.
Can exams in school be considered a system?
In elementary school, we had an exam that lasted an entire week. Each of us received a workbook, let's say 50 pages.
They told us to complete pages 1 to 10 and submit our work. The next day, we received the same workbooks again. We're told to do pages 11 to 20 and submit them again.
The next day, we had to do pages 21 to 30, and so on.
Well, of course, I peeked at what the tasks would be for the next day and prepared in advance for the questions I didn't understand.
It was as if they were begging us to cheat. I couldn't finish school.
A year later, I went to the school administration and lied to the secretary, saying that I had graduated but never received my diploma.
He gave me a diploma, and for the past 10 years, I've been working in the education system.
Oh. My story is somewhat similar to yours.
I was expelled from high school and felt bad about not graduating.
One day, I went to the community college where my brother was studying, and while he was sorting out his schedule, I decided to take the entrance test just for fun.
On the test, I indicated that I had graduated from the high school I attended.
After I passed the test, I tried to enroll in classes, as my test result document stated that I had a high school diploma.
No problems arose. I was enrolled in college and graduated 2 years later.
Then I was given a copy of my personal file, which included my high school diploma and college degree. After that, I was admitted to university, and 2 years later, I had 2 degrees and a fake high school diploma.
I regret nothing.
Sounds like the beginning of a good sitcom.
You've earned 10 PhDs, but everyone questions them because it turns out you never graduated high school. Now you have to complete 12th grade so you can publish your groundbreaking cancer research. I recorded the sound of the school bell on my phone and now play it 2 minutes before the end of class. Yes, this scheme works.
When I was in school, me and a few of my buddies, started packing our bags 5 minutes before the end of the lesson. Sometimes, other students in my class unconsciously took this as a signal and also started packing, forcing the teacher to end the lesson.
I don't know if it was social pressure, or if the teacher thought he didn't hear the bell. Anyway, hooray, 5 extra minutes of break.
The bell is for the teacher.
The lesson will end when I say so. We found a way to skip afternoon classes every Thursday for 5 years without getting caught.
Every Thursday afternoon, we had PE at the start of each semester. We had to choose a sports section, and the school always checked to make sure every student was enrolled in something.
But we found a way to get ourselves kicked out of the section. For some reason, our school considered fishing a sport.
The teacher who ran this section was obsessed with fishing and would get extremely angry if someone didn't take it seriously.
Knowing this, at the start of each semester, we would bring mop handles instead of fishing rods, with clips attached to the strings, and voila! We got kicked out every time.
When the teacher sent the attendance sheet to the academic office, he attached a note saying that we were no longer in that group. This happened often because if students didn't like a section, they could change the sport within the first 2 weeks.
And the school system worked in such a way that the ladies in the academic office would only notice your absences if they were marked in the attendance register. Otherwise, it was assumed you were in class. With our scheme, we weren't listed in any section,
so no absences were recorded.
I bought my first HD TV in 2003 at a big hypermarket.
The salesman was eager to sell me an extended warranty, but I kept refusing, saying I wouldn't have enough money left for the TV itself. It cost $2,200, and the warranty was $450. So, to get me to buy it, he dropped the TV price to $1,700. The day after it was delivered, I went back to the store and returned the warranty. Edited. I don't visit Reddit often, so your negative reactions amuse me. My story was short and sweet because I left out some details. It happened in Canada, at a store called Future Shop. That salesman was a total jerk. He lied to me, saying that without the extended warranty, if the TV broke, I'd have to handle the shipping myself, and I could only expect parts replacement within 90 days of purchase, with a year for service labor.
It was aggressive marketing at its worst.
When the TV was delivered, I carefully read the manual and factory warranty, and it turned out that both parts and labor were covered for 2 years. And if the TV was over 20 inches, technicians would come to your home.
So I paid $450 for 2 extra years of coverage. By then, the pixels would have burned out. Plus, the TV had an issue that cost me nearly $100 to fix. When I sold it a couple of years later, it was working perfectly.
Many here call me a jerk. Well, fine. But isn't the whole point of this thread? Most scammers are jerks?
I wanted to go to college in Texas, but I wasn't willing to pay full tuition. In-state tuition was much cheaper, so I researched ways to qualify for the discount. There were 4 options. 1. Marry someone from Texas. 2. Own property in Texas for at least a year. 3. Work in Texas for at least a year. 4. Run a business in Texas for at least a year.
So, naturally, I started a business.
I officially registered it and filed quarterly reports. I had 0 income and 0 expenses, so I paid no taxes at all.
A year later, I got the tuition discount.
I spent about $200 to set up the business, but saved tens of thousands on tuition.
When I was 10, I put a fake birth date to play RuneScape. Yesterday, I checked out a game on Steam, and they asked for my age.
Being lazy, I just put in the 1st of January 1901.
Gabe Newell will never know I'm not even 100 yet.
Actually, it's an old joke that January 1st is the birthday of about 90% of Steam users. I remember an article, I think it was in PC Gamer magazine, from January 1st, that said something like, "Happy birthday to tens of millions of Steam users." Quote.
Thank you for watching.
What life hacks have you had in your life?
Tell us about it in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.